And what was it?
Fastball. Yeah.
I thought I saw you kind of drop down right away. Like, was it a good hit, or was it a mistake, or was it just kind of?
It was a mistake pitch, but it was kind of set up. The first two ABs, I felt good throwing the pitch, and if I had to do it all over again, I would throw the exact same pitch. My first at bat, or his first at bat, I'm sorry. I threw 2 fastballs, and just kind of the way he took swings and what I kind of saw in the batter's box, I felt confident throwing that pitch, and he beat me. There's nothing I can do but tip my cap. And you hit a ball in center field that hard in this park, it's you win. It's one of those things.
So was the mistake just the location, or?
Yeah, it was up. The ball was up. He put a good swing on it, and he won.
So the first 2 strikeouts were they both struck you both on fastballs?
They're both. The second one was on a slider, but the first one was on a fastball. But his first 2 at bats were both set up with fastballs down. He just kind of, it looked to me that was the pitch that I wanted to throw, and it was just up, and he made a good swing on it.
You've been pitching well all season, and you keep coming out with the loss. How do you keep your head up when that keeps happening to you?
You just think about I can't control that. My job, is just the old cliche, just keep him in the game, and that's really honestly, what I go do. And pitching coach Paul Menhart has been extremely valuable with that for him, because everybody's human. It's human to get frustrated with things, and he's kind of been there to say, hey, if you put up zeros, don't give your team a 6-hole hole to come back from right away. So it's just kind of we have such a potent lineup, and there's flashes and there's flashes here and there, and I'll tell you what, when we put it together, we're gonna be really good.
Not a lot of room for error, though. As far as if you don't get any runs, you can't really make a mistake.
Yeah, and sometimes you feel that way, but you can't pitch like that, because once you start pitching like that, then you give up 5 or 6 solo home runs, and all of a sudden, it's 5-0. You just got to go pitch and say, hey, it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other. Sometimes they put up 9 runs for you, and you can make all the mistakes you want, and sometimes you're on the butt end of 1-0 and 2-1. It's just, I think Felix Hernandez won the Cy Young, and he was barely 500. It's one of those things. It's just, what can you do? You pitch. Sometimes you win 1-0, sometimes you lose 1-0. He threw a heck of a game tonight. You got to give, not necessarily, you blame our hitters, but you give credit to the other pitcher. He obviously had a game plan that he stuck to. He knew what he was going to do, and he executed. Sometimes you just tip the hat to him, and it was his day.
Baseball generally evens out. Do you figure there's a whole bunch of runs coming your way in the second half?
Absolutely. I like to think that they're all going to come in, the second half. I'm going to be the 6-0, 7-0, 8-0 winners, like you said, it all generally evens out, just like the hitter, they might hit one hard, and get an out, and then all of a sudden they chink one off the end of the bat and it falls. I might lose, 2-1 today or 1-0, and then maybe in a month I'm winning games 6-1 and 7-1. Like you said, it just kind of all evens out, kind of all comes full circle.
Baseball is such a game of inches. If you had to guess that pitch to Hessman, was it up by just a little bit, or?
Yeah, it was, instead of knee high, I would say it was middle thigh high. So you're talking 3 inches.
And a guy that size,
exactly. And Hessman's 6'5", and it's credit to him. He's been around in the game for such a long time. He's been around, and that's why he's around, is because he provides that pop in the lineup. He's an instant game changer, and it proves tonight. That's what it took, and that's why he's been around. He's a guy that when he's in the lineup, the coaches and the managers say, hey, here's a guy we need to neutralize. If we can neutralize him, we're going to be okay. And for the most part, we did.
Plus, he's a professional hitter. You see, he got him the first couple times, but
absolutely,
he's thinking out there too. So maybe he's thinking, okay, he's going to try another little fastball.
Absolutely, and and that's why he's getting paid. Is he's. I may have made the mistake of, coming at him the same way 3 different times, and, he did what he did. But, like I said, I'd throw the same pitch again, and if I don't know if that result happens again. Better location. Maybe if I the ball cuts a little bit more, sinks a little bit more, he pops that ball up in the air. You know, like you said, it's a game of inches, and instead of knee high, it was thigh high, and he swung and he hit it.
If we hadn't brought up the fact that you only had like 5 or 6 run support this year, that's something that you're aware of, or you just kind of put that in your mind totally?
People, they joke and say something about it. It's like, oh, it just must be you on the mound. We don't like you or something like that. Guys joke about it, but you have to put it on your mind, because the moment you think that, hey, I have to put up 6 zeros here or else I'm going to be, the losing pitcher. It's just, hey, we can score 1, we can score 2. Professional teams can score 1 or 2 runs. Then that's our goal. I think for me, my goal every time I have to have a quality start. So 3 runs or less in 6 innings. That is my goal, and I feel like if I can do that day in and day out, like you said, eventually it's gonna all come back around, and we'll be okay.
Until the Hessman home run, you guys were neck and neck. We had a pretty serious pitcher still going on. When the other pitcher's dealing like that, do you elevate your game or same game plan?
Yeah, it's like 2 fighters, in the ring. It's like, who's gonna blink first, and it's kind of fun. There's sometimes you feel that you're rolling in a game, and then your team puts up 7 runs, and that's great. Everybody loves to have that run support, but sometimes you're just in a groove. You want to get in and get out, and then you sit for 20, 25 minutes, kind of. All of a sudden, the brain's your worst enemy. You got time to think, you got time to do things, and all of a sudden you come out. You see it all the time. Your team will score 7 runs in an inning, and then all of a sudden you walk a guy, there's a little bit of a base hit, then they come back and score 3, and people are always like, how does that happen? You kind of lose your rhythm. So sometimes it's not always a bad thing to get in and out as a starting pitcher. You obviously want the runs, but you also want to stay, in your groove. You're doing things fast, so, 1 or 2 runs, is always nice, but, you see it happen a lot that the team puts up a big inning, and then all of a sudden the pitcher comes out and, can't put up a 1, 2, 3 inning.
When you hear a crack like that, and again, I kind of I want to drop your head, or what's that? What's the first thing that goes to your mind?
Oh yeah, you know right away. That was a ball. There's some balls you watch, and you're just like, come back, hit a bird, hit something, but that ball right there, it just, there's a certain sweet sound off the bat, and and for him, I knew how strong he was. I knew the type of hitter he was, and as soon as he hit it, I knew. And
even though it was the center, it was pretty.
Oh yeah, and it was, as soon as it left your hand, you can almost tell that the ball was going to be up, and he hit it, and it was just that sound. It was just the sweet noise, and you're just like, oh man.
It wasn't sweet for you, but super.
Exactly, for him, exactly, and you can see the hitter's reaction. It's because there's always that split second to where he hits it and you kind of lock eyes really quick on him. And when they get through a ball and they know it's good and they just drop it and just put his head down, I was like, yeah.
What are his eyes saying?
His was, I got that. 100%. When he looked up at the ball and he just puts his head down and goes, it's that he got it. And I was like, for a fleeting moment, I was hoping it was going to hit the wall. That's just, he was like, man. It's 400 and it plays so much bigger here. You're just like, no, never mind. That's not a wall.
Right. Yeah, I think the batter's eye.
Yeah, the batter's eye. It did. No, he got all of it.
Yeah.
He hit it.
Okay, thank you.